Agribusiness brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Good morning and welcome back to the show. We're at the 2012 Kansas State Swine Days here on the campus of Kansas State University at the Alumni Center. We're joined by Dr. Rowland. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Rowland.
Thank you. Good to be here.
You're in the diagnostic lab, or part of the diagnostic team there at Kansas State. Did I get that right?
Well, almost. I'm part of the research team, but a lot of what I do rolls into the diagnostic arena. And
we're talking about PRRS today.
We're talking about porcine reproductive and respiratory syndrome virus. It's a virus that first appeared in the 1990s. It has continued to have a tremendous impact on the pork industry, affecting swine production at a cost of about $500 to $600 million a year.
Treatable, non-treatable?
We do have vaccines. They do offer some benefit, but what we've learned is that PRRS is a very complex disease. It affects not just growing pigs and nursery pigs, but it also affects reproduction. So when we look at solutions to PRRS, we're not just looking at vaccines, but we're looking at a whole range of tools that we can apply to help control, and we hope to eliminate the disease.
Spreadable? I mean, is it spread pig to pig? How is it spread?
Absolutely. One thing about this virus, it's stealthy. It comes into a production system. You really don't know it at first. It can come in any number of ways. It can come from the outside. It can come through semen. It's very easily transmitted horizontally. In other words, from dam to fetus.
Bringing pigs in from the outside, is that one way that you can almost guarantee that if it's going to start, that's where it starts?
Absolutely. PRRS is really not considered to be that contagious. In other words, it's not a virus that flies great distance, but it's a virus that is very infectious. It doesn't take very much to start an infection, so whenever you bring in an infected pigs, you're almost assured of infecting the whole herd.
Tests that can be done prior to?
Yes, there are two tests that we currently use. One is a molecular PCR test to look for the virus. The other one is a diagnostic test doing serology. So there are tests that people can use to make sure that they don't get it, or at least to keep infected pigs out.
If you find out you have it in your herd, and you happen to have a dead pig, is there something that we need to send to the lab to see what we've got going on?
Well, I think the one thing we've recognized about PRRS, it's not a pig disease.
Okay.
It's a population disease. And as I said before, it's a stealthy virus. When it comes to into a production system, yeah, you do see pigs with respiratory problems and maybe find an increase in mortality. But the biggest impact is on weight gain and growth. And so once you have it, you have several options. You can always vaccinate pigs. You can live with the disease, take your hit up front and hopefully things kind of stabilize. You can eliminate the virus, and there's several ways in which you can do that. Something we call pop, repop. You can take the herd and you can close it, and eventually over about 200 days the virus just kind of burns itself out.
Runs it through the system and gets done.
You got it.
I need to take a quick break if that's all right.
Sure.
I'm going to keep you around and we'll just kind of continue our conversation if that's
You bet.
all right.
You bet.
We're watching Ag AM in Kansas. We'll see you in just a minute.
Agribusiness brought to you by Tarwater Farm and Home. Come on by. We'll treat you like family.
Thanks for staying with us. Doc, thanks for staying with us also. We're talking about PRRS in the swine industry. And I'm going to ask a question. I don't know if it makes much sense, but bovine respiratory disease, anything somewhat in common with PRRS?
I think if PRRS does share some similarity to bovine disease, it's going to be BVDV, bovine viral disease virus. Shares a lot of the same similarities. It can be present as a subclinical infection, its persistence, but you can also see outbreaks of severe disease. So if there is a bugaboo in the cow industry that is similar to what we have in pigs, that would probably be it.
And swine seem to be so much more susceptible to disease than cattle are, and that's just my perception as I get to visit with people that are in the swine industry. That's why you shower, you clean your feet, and all that other stuff. You don't go into barns that, if you've been in a different barn, you don't go in the same barn. And is that true?
Well, to some degree, and it's really how we've changed growing pigs. Anytime you change pig management, like any other animal, you change how you grow, you know, cows or pigs, you really change the disease ecology. And so,
what do you mean by that?
Well, you know, just as we have the ecology out on the plains, we have an ecology within a pig production system, and viruses come in to exploit that. PRRS appeared in about 1990. That's when we went into larger farms. We went to confined production. And so we're now seeing viruses.
So it's a mass disease more than it is
an
population disease more than an individual pig
if there's
disease.
a correlate in cows, it'd probably be what happens in a feedlot versus what happens out in the field.
Right.
You know, you got a cow-calf out in the field. Well, how is that different from a feedlot? Well, there's a lot of differences, and you see a lot of different diseases in a feedlot situation. And so the feedlot ecology is going to be very different than the ecology you find out on the field.
Anything we need to worry about before we take that pig to the slaughterhouse?
No, PRRS status really doesn't affect whether or not a pig goes to slaughter, of course. In any slaughter facility, they take pigs that are only in good condition, so it's not PRRS, but just any, you know, you treat it as a normal slaughter animal.
Someone's watching the show this morning, wants to find out more about some of the research and information you were talking about today. What's the easiest way to get that?
They could probably email me. That's probably the quickest way.
And can you give that email if you don't mind?
Yes, it's B, as in Bob, Rowland, BRowland at vet.ksu.edu.
Perfect. Yeah. Dr. Rowland, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
It's very nice to meet you.